Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Bahara Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel who rule and teach well, to the Akims, the Iams, the Byros, those pushing videos in truth and sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Slack it, Israel. What is this? Oh, that slipped my mind now. Oh, it is what it is. Yeah, today, February the 14th, as we know, is that holiday that they call, I know what this was. Slovakia as well. Uh, no, not that. Slovakia. 1 second. Yeah, today is that holiday that they call Valentine's Day. And the Mosai has given us, actually, let me get that. He's given us days, holy days, that we as a people should follow. And in this captivity, we have learned uh, many feast days which has nothing to do with the Lord, which scrolls back to paganism. And regardless of how you tell many of our people that, these feast days that they celebrate that's in the world is paganism, they don't care. And a lot of them would say, oh yeah, we know, but still go and celebrate these feast days, these pagan holidays. And this is why the judgment that the Most High is bringing on 2/3 of our people is just because you know better but choose to do worse. This is Leviticus 23:1, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feasts, of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy, set apart convocations, holy gatherings. If these are my feasts. So when you go through these feast days now, at no point do you buck upon Valentine's, Christmas, Easter, none of these. Yeah, but our people still choose to celebrate these feast days, and the feast days that we celebrate, which is outside of what we read in the scriptures, like destruction of Nicanor, um, Day of Simon, all of these things. These are feast days. Hanukkah, you know, uh, what's the other word for Hanukkah? Um, anyway, Hanukkah, you know what I'm talking about. Feast of dedication. That's it, Salakia. Um, these are all days that our foreparents ordained for us to celebrate because we overcame something that these other nations was trying to do. Like Hanukkah is where they'd taken our temple, defiled it with all kind of nastiness. So when we regained the temple, we rededicated to the Most High, and ordained it to be a time that we remember throughout the generations. Same with destruction of Nicanor, when we regained the Jerusalem, and the day of Simon. These are all days which our people came back from certain things. Purim, these ain't just something that we thought off the top of our head. These feast days outside of what we read in Leviticus chapter 23 meant something to us as a people. But now our people have learned certain ways in this captivity, which is not conducive to us as a people, keeps us in the downtrodden position that we're in, and the Most High don't like it. This is Leviticus chapter 18, verse 3. I'll start 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. So this is who you speak to. Yeah, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you speckled birds. Yeah, and a lot of the 2/3, I believe, would be speckled birds because after you don't even know or acknowledge that you might be Israel. Yeah, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, I am the Lord your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. After the doings of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither ye walk in their ordinances. And today our people have learned many ways and customs, which is not our own. So us coming back to this truth is trying to abstain from things which we learned in captivity and come back to the customs and the ways that the Most High wants us to walk. Now, Like I said, today is Valentine's Day. Another one of those pagan feast days which our people celebrate. They feel no way about celebrating it. Even when you tell them about it, they'll tell you, yeah, we know it's pagan, but they still celebrate it anyway. Now, this is a short video. Well, it's 40 minutes, but I'll just play a few bits of it. It's on a channel called Truth Unedited. It says, is your Valentine's Day a pagan holiday? So, I'm just going to play a little bit of this, go into some scriptures.
It's important that as we live out our days, we grow in knowledge. It's always a mistake to partake in customs and celebrations that we do not know the history of. Embracing traditions that we do not know the history of can often lead us in celebrating false deities and make us out to be hypocrites to what we truly believe. Knowledge is power, and regardless of what you choose to do, whether you decide to take part in certain customs and traditions is your choice. My purpose in these subjects is to fill the gap where our education system seems to drop the ball. I will give you the background history of traditions that many of us blindly accept without really understanding. One of these traditions is Valentine's Day. For most people today, Valentine's Day is just regarded as a secular commercial day of love, a date where people show their significant other that they love them because someone else did a long time ago, and it just grew in acceptance over time. Basically, because days like Valentine's Day just show up on our calendar and the retail big businesses start marketing to us, we just accept this day and look at it as harmless and partake in it. I mean, Valentine's Day is a huge day for business. It is estimated that in America alone, the country as a whole spends an average of $18.5 billion on Valentine's Day every year.
And these nations promote these things, knowing that, they're going to make money out of it for one. But our people, is going to get caught up in this regardless of, what they see. And a lot of our women, cause the men do this of their own choice, but it's because they're chasing women as well. Foolish, really.
But if you ask people why, you would most likely receive silence as an answer. Everyone knows that we celebrate love on Valentine's Day, but most people don't know exactly why we do and why it's even called Valentine's Day. So I think that's something that we should correct. Let's examine it. Let's begin. So, where did Valentine's Day come from? Many people think that it's just one of those American holidays that we just partake in. It's just something that we as Americans do. But the celebration of Valentine's Day is not American. Others like to believe that it is a Christian holiday because it was named after a Christian saint by the Roman Catholic Church. But the truth is that Valentine's Day was made by the Roman Catholic Church to Christianize the pagan celebrations of.
And a lot of Christians will be celebrating this as well, regardless of what you tell them about, the feast days that the Most High has given us. They'll always try and misuse some scriptures to not keep the commandments of the Lord.
Lupercalia. Lupercalia was one of the most ancient Roman festivals, which was celebrated every year in honor of Lupercus, the god of fertility, also known as the god Faunus. This festival, which celebrated the coming of spring, included fertility rites, orgies, fornication, sex with minors, drunkenness, and other activities like the pairing off of women with men by lottery. Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, as well as to the founders of Rome, Romulus and Remus. During this time, the winter solstice is long gone, and the pagans are now seeing that the days are getting gradually longer.
And another thing that people do is like with Christmas. A lot of our people know it's paganism. Dealing with the Christians, then they'll tell you, well, we know it's paganism, but we're using it to celebrate the birth of Christ. They'll make up excuses just to continue in something which the Bible condemns. Yeah, and it's the same with Valentine's. Our people continue to do it and make up excuse as to why they're celebrating this, regardless of what the scripture says. But the Bible says, "What has light to do with darkness?" So can two walk together except they be agreed? The Most High don't respect these feast days. So if He doesn't respect it, why should we? And we should be making up excuses to keep it either.
This was one of the most important fertility festivals for pagans. The festival was held on the 15th of February in the Lupercal, where Romulus and Remus were said to have been nurtured by the she-wolf. The place contained an altar and a grove sacred to the god Lupercus. And Lupercal, the Luperci, who were the priests, assembled on the day of Lupercalia and sacrificed goats and dogs. These animals were known for their strong sexual instinct,
The goats and dogs, you know that we used to sacrifice goats, but a dog, come on, man.
making them most appropriate sacrifices to the god of fertility. Then the Luperci cut thongs from the skins of the sacrificial animals and ran in two bands around the Palatine Hill. They would whip any woman who came near them. A blow from the thong was supposed to make a woman fertile. It's said that young women would actually line up for the men to hit them. Now, if you just dig a little deeper, you can understand further what is being celebrated. Lupercalia is believed to be connected to the ancient Greek festival of Arcadian Lycaea and the worship of Pan. Lupercalia is the Roman form of worship of the Greek god Pan. Pan can be traced to the sun god Baal. He is the horned god, and we know Baal is none other than Nimrod. Nimrod was the original Lupercus. The Lupercalia, the festival of the Romans, held during the time we know today as
Hold on,
Valentines.
you quickly go back here. You look at this now. This symbol here, this onk, which you find coming out of Egypt. You know, a lot of our people walk around with this around their neck as well, not really acknowledging or understanding what this is all leading back to.
The Lupercalia, the festival of the Romans, held during the time we know today as Valentine's Day, was a festival to honor Nimrod, just in this Roman form. This is paganism. In ancient pagan Rome, the month of February was sacred to Juno Februata, the goddess of the fever of love. Juno Februata was also the goddess of women and of marriage. February 14th was her festival day. A box was provided from which single men could draw a billet, a small piece of paper on which a woman's name was written. The couple would then form a temporary liaison for the erotic games to follow. Sometimes they would remain partners for the following 12 months. Marriage sometimes resulted from this practice. So these days were used to celebrate fertility in ancient pagan Rome. It was a pagan festival day that goes back to the honoring of Nimrod. This was what happened during this time in ancient history. So where did the name Valentine's Day come from? Valentine's Day is said to be named after a few Christian martyrs who the Roman Catholic Church named saints. According to one story,
And this is what the church does, you know, it tries to mix a lot of paganism in with its religion to sucker people in.
Roman Emperor Claudius II imposed a ban on marriages because too many young men were dodging the draft by getting married. At that time, only single men had to enter the army. There was a Roman physician and priest who had converted to Christianity when it was a persecuted religion. His name was Valentinus of Terni, and according to some of the stories, he used to marry Christian couples in secret. It was said he wore a ring with a cupid on it, which is used as a symbol of love. We'll cover that soon. The ring helped soldiers recognize him. When he was exposed, he was imprisoned, tortured, and beheaded. Later, he became a martyr and the patron saint of true love and marriages. While awaiting execution, he was visited by young lovers with notes about how much better love is than war. Some think of these love letters as the first Valentines. Valentinus' execution occurred on February 14th in the year 269.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stop that there anyway. Um we get the gist, this is all paganism, you know, which our people today are quite strong into, and you know, they don't really care, you know, what you say to them, oh, it's paganism. You know, they still follow these practices religiously. Now this is Jeremiah. I'll read this. Jeremiah 10 and 1. It says, hear the word of the Lord. Hear the word slacken, which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Once again, he's speaking to our people. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Yeah, don't learn the ways of these other nations, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. Valentine's is a vain custom. It doesn't benefit us at all in any way. And all it does really is to make the Most High continually angry with us. But something we've always done as a people is follow the ways of these other nations. This is Jeremiah 44:15. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt in Paphros, answered Jeremiah, saying, and this is what the same thing they say to us when we tell them to abstain from these pagan feast days. As for the word of as for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee, but we will certainly do whatsoever thing going forth out of our own mouth. There today, is celebrating Christmas, celebrating Valentines, celebrating Easter, so on and so forth. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing going forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we, and our fathers, our kings, our princes, in the cities of Judah, in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil. And this is what we have to realize. The devil, he blesses as well. So a lot of our people that's up in the church, believing that the Most High is blessing them. The fact that you're not doing the will of the Lord, yeah, the blessings that you're getting, is coming from the devil himself, because he will look after those who does his bidding, just like the Most High will look after those that does his bidding also. This is Ezekiel 20:32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries to serve wood and stone. So this is nothing new to our people. We've always been willing to serve and follow the ways of these other nations, regardless of what you tell them. And a lot of our people say they know it leads back to paganism, but they'll still continue to go and celebrate these pagan feast days. Now, this is online. It says the history of holidays, history of Valentine's Day. Where did Valentine's Day come from? What are the origins of Valentine's Day? The history behind Saint Valentine, like the truth about Valentine's Day, satanic origins. So there's no real reason why our people do not understand that Valentine's Day goes back to paganism. And the reason why they're still celebrating it, because they're just continually wicked. They love to disobey the voice of the Most High. They love to put into practice Proverbs 3:31. Yeah, this is Proverbs 3:31. It says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. And this is what our people always do, always choosing the ways of these other nations, not even considering that this is why we're continually marching, talking about hands up, no peace, hands up, Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace. All of this madness is because we continue to disobey the voice of the Most High. Now, this is Isaiah 29:13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth. As I was saying, a lot of Christianity, as paganism mixed in with it. You know, Christmas, we know that day is a paganistic day, but then they'll say, well, we use it to celebrate the birth of Christ, red tear and tree bags full. But what has light got to do with darkness? Yeah. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but I've removed their heart far from me, and their fear towards me is taught by the precepts of men. So today you'll find our people saying, yeah, I believe in the Most High, but you're still celebrating Christmas. I believe in the Most High, still celebrating Valentine's Day. And this is Sirach 32:24. It says, he that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment. It's that simple. Yeah, you believe in the Most High, you do as he says. And he that trusteth in him shall never fear the worst. So Valentine's Day is not something that we should be partaking in. None of these feast days has nothing to do with us. The Most High, when you go to Leviticus chapter 23, gave us feast days to celebrate. When you read the scriptures, we have other days which are people ordained, which had something to do with us as a people overcoming something that was detrimental to us as a people, and we held it as a feast day. One of them is Purim, Hanukkah, which Yahushai kept when you read John 10:22. These are the things that we should be celebrating, and things which pertain to us as a people, not following the ways and the customs of these other nations, which only brings the wrath of the Most High upon us. So with that, I'm going to close out. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Bahara Kadash, Kwame Allah.